I'm Joshua Potts, Mr. Pottsville, always with the brother with the same mother, Aaron Potts, Super Hot Potts, and you're watching and listening to your favorite two black runners every single Two Black Tuesday.
My vocals on point today, y'all. My vocals on
Hey,
point today. And
okay.
our guest on point too, so I'm super hyped for this one, Joshua.
For real, bro. We should lucky just get into it, man. We could skip the introductories, everything. We had them on the podcast before. Lucky we bringing back OGs this month. We bringing
For
back
real though.
OGs this one. The athlete special, Spencer Brown coming to the podcast. Y'all know him, Georgetown alum. Brooks Beast alum. He's a legend on the YouTubes. Been doing it for a good minute. You feel me? Spencer Brown on the podcast, bro. Spencer, just how's it going, man? How's it been? It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Joshua, Aaron, it's good to be back. I gotta say, it's when you guys reached out to me, I couldn't turn it down because this has always been my favorite podcast to hop on, and you guys
Hey.
just have the energy that I want right now, and I'm just so happy to see how far you guys have come. Like I was, I don't know, at one meet in March, and all of a sudden I look up and the boys are right there interviewing. Like you guys are at the meets now, and cool to just see that you guys have really made it. And like we had all talked, a year or two back about how
Yep.
trying to make our mark in the running world, and you guys are doing an awesome job. So I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, we learned
you.
from you. We learned from you just being consistent, trying to be as authentic as possible every chance we get. And I'm thinking it was like episode 4 we had you. So it's
Dang.
crazy to see just
Are
like
we on 63, 64 right now?
yeah, and I don't even think you were with Brooks yet when we had you on the podcast. So it's been
I think
awesome
when
to see
we
your development too.
I think we had when we had you on, well you were just dropping like the task clothing, and then also I think you just came off of Lyme's disease, I think.
Okay, yep. So that was a little bit before Brooks. So yeah, it's been a wild ride in the last 18 months for all of us.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
most definitely. And like you just posted, just you leaving Brooks Beast, now back into your hometown, living with your dad, being coached with your dad. But just how has the transition been coming back home? You dropped a YouTube video with it, getting back onto YouTube and Instagram. Just how has that move back been like?
Yeah, so I hadn't been home for like 18 months straight. Besides, I guess a little caveat on that. I went home 4 days in March of this year, but besides those 4 days, I hadn't been home once. So I missed Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the holidays, and Fourth of July,
Dang.
and just everything. Just because COVID, obviously, and I was in Boulder, and then I was in Seattle with the Beast. So coming home in general was unbelievable. I so miss my family, and like
Mm-hmm.
don't really, when you're just in that grind mode and like you're not thinking about family, it's kind of easy to um not really think that it's going to be that big of a deal not being around them, but it
Yeah.
kind of caught up to me over time. So I was like really, really emotionally and just physically drained by the end of the last season. So just coming home has been so nice, and the transition has been great as well. I've been in a pretty big slump, even with YouTube stuff. So just to get home and to refresh, like I feel like myself again, which is just the most I can ask for.
I feel that. Like I feel like, once you graduate college and you go off on your own for a little bit, you realize how like important, those supporting people like your family and those close ones around you are really to you. But how would you say like your priorities have changed over the past year and through COVID?
Yeah, that's a great question because like, coming, I'd say like when COVID first happened, everyone was in lockdown for the first 8 weeks or so, and then when the lockdown kind of ended and I went out to Boulder, I was pretty optimistic and just having fun and around friends all the time. And I feel like I lost some of my values of just uh, like trying to stay close with just family and stuff. And I kind of let my ego get away from me at times. I was acting pretty cocky at times, especially in Boulder, Colorado. And then it was very humbling being on the beast, and like it didn't work out running wise. I
Mm-hmm.
got COVID myself in November of last year, and then I got a bad injury in March. So it was like every bad break happened to me, and like honestly, it's just running at the end of the day, and that I'm sure all three of us have had times where it's just like it's not clicking and you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, but through all the negatives, I've been able to take away a lot of positives in that, like, obviously keep your real close friends close with you and make sure to see your family and your loved ones and, focus on the people that are positives in your life. And doing that, you don't want to lose yourself. And that's sort of where I'm at now.
When you said like keep your close friends close, because it seemed like you had like a tight knit group with you and Will when you was out there like helping you with like the videos. You are out there playing disc golf on the channel and all that good stuff. But like, what was it during this time as well? Like those past 18 months being away, did you find yourself like you don't gotta call no one out, but did you find yourself like losing like friends, or did you feel like your friends kind of switched up on you just because like you're chasing this and things weren't going right, or things were going right, or something? Did it ever feel like a struggle to be like trying to keep friends during that time?
I think that what I'm more referring to is like I was making mistakes in that I wasn't able to go home and see family, and I should have made a bigger effort to do that because there's something about going home for even just a little short period of time that helps reset you.
Mm,
And um I just didn't have that for so long that like I didn't realize that it's very necessary because I had always been in college and going home for Christmas and then the summer. But,
yeah,
it took me 18 months to realize, like, shoot, I got to go home and like reset. And, my close friends like Will, Ari, the people who have been in videos, they have been nothing but unbelievably supportive. And they kind of put their lives aside for my dream of, pursuing a professional running career. And like, I'm nothing but grateful for their support, and they've been just unbelievable to me. So like they've been awesome. And like no one's honestly like there's been no real negative people in my life. It's just been like me, if anyone, pushing people out or not being as social. And I think that a little bit of that is like the professional running scene. It gets very cutthroat, and you've got fear of running for to hold on to your contract and stuff like that.
mm,
So stress, pressure, all that stuff kind of gets you at times, and it makes your experiences at times a little bit more negative than you would have liked them to be. So that's just I think
Yeah.
that's professional running for you.
No, and I feel that too. I feel like whether it's professional running or it's like, for me, it was like, two black runners and starting a new job at Hoka. You could kind of go into survival mode at times, and you have to be careful because you can isolate yourself from from those people. And I get totally where you're coming from. Like whenever I get to go home, I feel like as you get older, going home is just more important. Being around your family, and it just feels so nice to like be around those people that 100% truly love you and only what the best for you. Even sometimes it doesn't sound like what you want, but you know that they're always coming from a good place. So definitely happy to hear you're back home. You grown now. You a man.
I know. Yeah, I even said it on my last videos. I'm not this young optimistic kid anymore, and I'm not pessimistic now. And I think that there's still plenty of running to be done, but I think that I've had enough relative like failures, and I've just seen a lot more now, and it just allows you to grow as a person. And I'm sure you guys both have experienced that same kind of a little bit of you know early adulthood when college is done, and like
oh, we in the middle, Spencer. We in the middle of it.
yeah, you're gonna experience it soon, Joshua. But Aaron knows what I'm talking about. When you transition out of college and you're in that weird in between state where you don't really feel like an adult yet, but you're not a kid in college anymore. It's just an awkward time, and I think it hit me pretty hard. And like you you have to just make sure you out who you are and know what works for you. And I think for a while I kind of lost a little bit of myself and lost what made me happy. And I'm so thankful that I feel like I found it again, and that fire and everything, to allow myself to continue doing YouTube and doing running stuff. So yeah.
And like going off of that too, like going home, and I feel like when Aaron would always come home from like college or when he just comes down now from Santa Barbara. This man's always looking to eat, bro. This dude be trying to eat up all the food or home cooking. He's all like, man, this
Yeah.
home cooking so good. I'm like, low-key, I've been at home, so like I low-key don't be tripping off that. But how good is it just to get a home cooked meal again, like from like your parents and everything? How good is that to experience that a little bit more now?
Dude, you could not have said that better. And everyone is always just saying my diet is really bad in videos, and that's a whole nother story. But like having home cooked meals from my mom is unbelievable. I'm so happy to have that back in my life. It's just so much more simple.
Uh,
I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna make for breakfast. Or, I mean, I make my own breakfast. It's mostly just the dinner that
yeah, yeah.
helps out with. Um, but yeah, that it is really nice to have home cooked meals, and you save money at home. So it's great. The refrigerator is always stocked. That's a huge thing about being at home. So it's great.
Shout out to the
It's
moms and dads cooking dinner, bro. Shout out to the moms and dads cooking dinner.
when you don't gotta stock the fridge yourself, man. That's so nice. It's so nice.
It's incredible.
Then also I want to ask too, like you spent a lot of 18 months on the West Coast basically, or what, 12 months West Coast, and you had a lot of meets in LA and down there, like West Coast or East Coast now, bro? You feeling a little bit more West Coast? I know West Coast kind of nice. Let me tell you, West Coast kind of nice. Are you feeling a little bit more West Coast than East Coast now?
That's a good question. I think at my happiest, West Coast for sure. But when you're not happy and you're that far away from, my whole family's from like Boston or Connecticut or New
Mm,
York or Pennsylvania, so all East Coast.
yeah.
Besides, shout out, I've got some relatives in Seattle actually. I saw them once, but when you're when you're not in a good state and you're not with family, it kind of sucks. So yeah, when things are going well, ooh, West Coast really nice, especially Seattle in the summertime. California all year round is incredible, but and like there's mountains, there's literally everything there that's
Yeah.
awesome. But the roots are at home and on the East Coast, so I would say it's very 50-50.
No, I feel that. I feel that. And I'm just happy to hear, how important, family is for you. And now you're transitioning to being training with your dad. What kind of like went into that decision to go with your dad instead of like maybe like an old college coach, or I'm even potentially another group?
Yeah, so really, I'm I'm at that age also where I know my body pretty well. I know what I need to do to be successful. And in the very current situation I'm in right now, it made the most sense to be surrounded by people who basically 110% support you. Like what you are doing, they care about more than anything that they are doing in their life. And that's like your parents. Your parents are like the only people that should care more about what you're doing than what they are doing themselves,
Hmm.
because you're their kids. And my dad he's got experience with coaching and he's coached me in the past. Plus, I have so much experience from just college and professional running now that I mean, I essentially know what I need, like I keep saying, and having my dad there to support and basically kind of be like a blanket over me and kind of rein me back at times, give me that confidence I need. It's very it's going to work really well right now. I thought about going back to my college coach, and mainly I didn't because I don't necessarily know if I'm going to like I would probably have to move back to DC, and right now I'm comfortable at home. I'm also have a lease in Seattle, so I'm planning on going back to Seattle. Um and like I want to be able to get there on my own for a little bit, and then we'll see how after this year goes with my dad. And if it's going amazing, then like for sure I'll stay with my dad. But like if he's like, hey, I think that we've had a great start, we've got you back on track, maybe you should go somewhere else now, then I wouldn't be opposed to that. But basically, like I keep saying, just the situation I'm in right now, it made the most sense for him to be there, and he was, and he knows me so well, and he has no problem telling me like it is, and
Uh-huh.
that means a lot to me. I'm not saying I need someone yelling at me, but like he's not going to bullshit around and be like and sugarcoat things. He's going to kind of tell me what the situation is at hand, and I think that that really means a lot.
Yeah, I think me and Aaron both like totally understand where you're coming from too, because knowing our dad coached us up through like club track, and our dad would always, if I had a race, like my dad would always first one of the first people like, bro, what time did you run? What split did you run? And low key be annoying at times. I'm like, bro, you can just look at the results. Like I'm gonna be at home in like 13 minutes. Like chill out. But like, or just like even a run. But but when I was watching like your last ride, that video, and your dad was at the end explaining, kind of like, I feel like he could have done more in college, and like he was just racing for time. I really felt like that was me and Aaron's dad. Like I was all like, that's exactly how our dad like talks to now about like our training, and it's just the way that he critiques it. So I feel like there is a sense of like, definitely if your father, your parent, or whatever is like as afar, they see something that's in you that's not that you technically can't see, that's even deeper in a sense, especially if they coached you at a young age. But I feel like too, like if my dad were to train me now, like I feel like, dang, like we would have to collaborate on some stuff, because like we agree on some things, but I'm all like, man, we gotta collaborate. Is there some type of collaboration that you guys have with writing like workouts now, and just like the plans and what you do? Like is that in the works as well?
Yeah, that I mean, what you're saying, also so many other people reached out to me and said such similar things to what you just said. And like people really seem to like the storyline with my dad doing it with me. And yeah, I just what you said makes so much sense. And we are doing a lot of collaboration. That's the other thing. Like I have like a year experience of running with like arguably the best American middle distance team in the country. And where it didn't work out for me, I still have all of that knowledge now. And then I have all of my knowledge from when I was at Georgetown, which is a great Division 1 school. I can kind of put that together and then put together my dad's 2 cents, and that's sort of what we're doing right now. So he's coming
Mm-hmm.
up with workouts, but he's leaving it up to me for like, run on how you feel, and like, how far I want to go on specific days, as long as I hit like a range of mileage per week. Um, like, and I think that that's just how it should be when you're old, like at a specific age, or,
Yeah.
far along in your running career. So there is a collaboration, and like, it probably would drive me crazy if he just was barking out like, do this exact workout or do this exact run for the next 3 weeks, and give me like a very drawn out schedule. But that's not how it's going. And I think that I really do think it's gonna work out, just because it's a very supportive thing that we've got going.
Yeah, and I really liked it too, because I'm a little older than Joshua, and I feel like if I was trying to be elite or even sub elite again, I would love to, do some type of coaching with my dad. I feel like we've reached that point, where it's like you respect each other. You're an adult now, and he knows the experiences you've been through, and it's like I've gotten old enough to like really respect him. Whereas when you're younger, in high school or something, you're like, why are you just trying to tell me what to
Yeah.
do? Like this is not about you or whatever. But it got into that. Once you get to that point, it's fun. It's like, and you're like kind of racing for something bigger, and I feel like I was agreeing like with some of the stuff your dad was saying, but like in college, a lot of the times that system spits you out to like just hit these times where as like when you're coaching, if your dad's coaching you, he's coaching like you specifically. He knows everything about you. He knows how if you're really pushing, he knows how harder you can push without you even knowing that you could push that hard. And he knows your body. So I thought it was that's why I thought it was super dope because I think y'all gonna go off this year. I'm hyped about it.
Thank you. I'm really excited, and I appreciate the support. And I think that like the fact that both of you guys can resonate on it, just it excites me. And like that's sort of what I wanted to hit. Like we're doing this father and son, and I think that so many people can relate to it, and it's a fun thing to try.
And plus too, I look at it as well, like you have, on top of like your dad, you still have like a whole bunch of different resources too that all of you guys can like feed off from. So like if you need any questions, like you still, I'm pretty sure you could still hit up your college coach or hit up Danny Mackey from Brooks Beast and like what should we do, or like bounce around ideas. So like that, all the experience that you've had in running, lending up to this moment, I'm pretty sure people be more than welcome to like help you out and lend some type of two cents. And then once you guys start getting more and more into like the season as well.
Yeah, totally. And off that, like the way that I left it with the whole team and Danny, like I have such a good relationship with all of them. And like Danny, Mackie and I, we text all the time. We're both kind of into like just like boxing stuff and like MMA. So he'll like send me an Instagram or a text and we're like just friends at this point. So
Hmm.
I think a lot of people on the outside see it as like, oh, you're not with the team anymore, that you're cut off. But it's like we're just people at the end of the day. I think you
Yeah.
guys know
Yeah.
that more than a lot of people out there. It's just the way that the professional circuit works that uh, contracts are hard and stuff. But like I'm friends with everyone on the team still. Like those are the people I hang out with in Seattle. I'm gonna still hang out with them and see them again.
What do you think? What was like the biggest thing you learned from that program and those athletes? Because we and Josh were like going through the list. Like this was like the best year for the Brooks Beast. I've been saying arguably they have the best middle distance program in the
You guys been
U.S.
saying that.
I,
You
I've
guys
been
been saying
I've been
that.
saying that because Josh Curry ran 329. Henry Wins running 144. Like y'all went crazy, or 334. I'm sorry.
That's
Or
Brandon
Yeah,
Kidder running
Brandon Kidder
144.
ran 144. So it was just like this is the middle distance program is crazy.
yeah. For me personally, well, I'll just say it quickly. It sucks that I had a bad year because they had such a good year, and I think majority of people who were following the Beast just on like the casual runners were more so following my personal journey with it. So like people, I really hope that people see that everyone really succeeded under the program, and so I would say just off of that, like the biggest thing I learned is like you it is so crucial to stay healthy and to be doing like everything in your power to not get hurt or not get sick. And I got a little excited at times um, when I was starting to get in good shape in the first altitude camp, and I had a little nagging thing, and I just didn't take care of it the way I needed to. And you know, hindsight is always 2020 with injuries, but I just hadn't been hurt before, and I didn't even kind of know I was getting hurt until it was too late. And once you fall off the train in terms of fitness and practice, you're kind of screwed at that point. Um, like no one and the coach, the athletes, they don't have time to wait for you once you're hurt and like coming back. And Danny did his best job of trying to get me fit again, but like I was already at a disadvantage with my own PRs versus theirs. So like I needed to have like the perfect year to PR and to do well. And I think what also kind of hurt me was that like, I knew that my contract was only a year long, and that stress just starts to build up more and more and more. And if I wasn't thinking about it in terms of like, well, I got to run like every race, I was getting to the line being like, better not, if I have to perform today because I want to try to renew my contract. And it just gets worse and worse. And I wasn't there physically, I wasn't there mentally. And I think I just kind of lost the long-term thought process of just like trusting the process and not worrying about times, not worrying about racing. So those are just little lessons that I learned, and who knows if those are lessons I could have learned whether I was on a professional team or not. They might have just been because I got hurt and sick a bunch of times this year. And I guess other than that, I learned that people on the team are just really mentally tough and like can bounce back quickly. Like best example would be Brandon Kidder started running in December because he took 8 months off due to a knee injury or knee surgery, I should say.
Mhm.
And he ended up running 144 later in the year. He got fifth at USA's in the 800 off of like no base. And it was like, how are you doing this? And he was like, it's all in the head. I got stronger mentally. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't. It's insane that you did that. So that was really cool to watch.
And when you're talking about like being in, well, first off, yeah, that is crazy. Brandon Creator. And then we got to see him race at the Sunset Tour at APU. Yeah, he had a crazy season. He's had a crazy season. But also just saying, off of you going off like saying you had to, every single time you went to the line, you're like, I gotta renew my contract. I gotta renew my contract. I feel like I've been in that similar place too for the past 2 years because I was at a JC. And I was at a D1, then I went back to the JC and I was trying, like COVID happened, so I didn't get to run the track season. But even at that point, before the COVID, I was all like, bro, this is like my last chance. Like, I need to run fast and like show like what I can do before I can get into a university. And every time I go to like a cross country race or a track race, my coach would tell me like, bro, like you're tightening up. And like I was like, you're right, I am tightening up because low key, I'm like when I started dying, I'm all like, bro, the bag's getting away from me a little bit. Like that's how I would kind of look at it. But like could you kind of just like describe that a little bit more and like did you feel that pressure too like even like in practice like how much was that like a daunting thing even when like you're away from the track as well or was it really just like once you got to the line or was it like when you were at practice did you think about it when you were at home or anything or how was just like that process for you just in a general sense.
Well, I totally agree with what you're saying on like you feel it getting away from you in races, and the whole year was really tough because after I got COVID in November, I felt like I was playing catch up every day at practice. And, if you watch like very early on in the season, I was having no issue at practice running with the guys in all the workouts, not doing less reps and stuff like that. But then after I got COVID and then was coming back, it was like I was playing catch up and I was almost taking chances in workouts to try to get fit quicker. And as soon as you start playing that game, it's risky for injuries and stuff like that. And it's just
Hmm.
like this spiral. And I just felt rushed all year. And I talked about this with Danny after, and he agreed. Like it was just very difficult. Always feeling like I'm not there yet. I'm close or I'm not close. I have to just keep getting closer to where I want to be. And it made it really not fun towards the end of the season where like, you know, you want to be going into races nervous because you're like, shit, I can maybe pop off. Like, I'm nervous because I might actually do something crazy. Not
Yeah.
nervous because you're like, I'm nervous because I don't know what the hell is going to happen when the gun goes off. I don't know what type of shape I'm in. Or
Hmm.
like, I hope that this goes well. That is the worst feeling. And I experienced that so many times towards the end of the season that it was like racing wasn't fun. I wasn't looking forward to races. And like, I know people were watching me, and I never used to care about people watching me before races and stuff, but I knew that people were paying attention and watching, and it was like I just was not in the right mindset, and it sucks, and it's kind of tragic because it's like, imagine going or like putting your whole life into something, and then for all of us that's running, and then showing up at the meet and not being excited and not being nervous in the proper type of way, and and then you run crappy, and then after the meet you're like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't fun. And
Hmm.
like it causes, like, I train so hard, and like, why am I not excited on race day? Or why am I like, I don't know, sacrificing this for? So that was sort of where it got, and I feel like a lot of people can relate on that.
Yeah.
And I just had to, that was like a huge thing with me going home. Like after the season, I was like, I mean, I don't want to do this anymore if it's going to be this way. But once I got home and snapped out of that, I found the enjoyment again. And but it's a scary road to go down with just like the constantly feeling like you're not there yet.
Yeah, it's like when nerves turn into anxiety, and it's just like I feel like a lot of athletes deal with that gray area of like, am I nervous or am I just having pre-race anxiety? And that can definitely like hinder you mentally. How much do you feel like, or I don't know if it's a direct correlation, but like just being in you were like in the actual business world of running, and like that brings the pressures, like you were saying, like renewing the contract. But what was just like the experience of actually, you know, being in the within the business, running for a company versus running for a college?
So it's different because it's more of a job, and yeah, it's something that I probably should have done a better job taking account for, that there would be limitations on certain things that I could post, and that it wouldn't be as much of a passion project anymore, just the thing I love, and it was just more of a job. And there's a lot of cool positives though, because you kind of feel like you're part of a team, and you have, I had people behind the scenes who are you're helping me out with videos and stuff like that, and people within Brooks who were just like they're on your side and stuff. And it was unfortunate that COVID was ongoing the whole year, because I think we missed out on being able to do a lot of cool things and
Mm-hmm.
meetups and just official cool, company things, not, things that you're not allowed to do in college. So I think that those are the cool things. Unfortunately, like I keep saying, that we weren't able to do them, so it kind of stinks. But in a normal year, I think that it would have been really fun being part of that Brooks team. Um, but it is, yeah, it's certainly different than being just filming practice with the boys in college. Um, but like really, it's similar in some regards when you're at practice on a pro team. Like everyone on the team is the same people they were in college, and we're all having the same funny conversations on the warm up and stuff. So that part of it was not new to me at all. It was just,
Mm-hmm.
being at practice, and even filming practice was the most fun part of the experience with Brooks, because that's what I knew the best, and it felt the most to home for me.
And all the free shoes and the gear. Like, come on, I need to get on that. Brooks. All I get is Brooks Adrenalines, bro. Like, send me some. That's literally all I get. Brooks Adrenaline since like sophomore year. Like, I know they listening right now. Like, come on, send me some Brooks Adrenalines my way. I can use like three more pairs. You feel me? That would be nice. All white too. That would be tight. That would be tight. But
This guy.
sorry, Spencer. I have to shoot my shot. I know they listening to this. I have to shoot my shot, bro. You feel me? The Brooks shoes are nice, so
Yeah,
I'll say.
I really liked wearing Brooks shoes. I love their trainers, and I love in particular the Hyperion Elite 2 is a really good road running shoe that I've liked. And I'm still wearing Brooks right now and love their shoes. I wear the Glycerin GTS. I used to wear the Adrenaline, so yeah, I think Brooks has. I truly do think that they have some of the best training shoes out there.
Yeah, they cool,
I
but
highly
they ain't
recommend.
Hoka though, but they cool. No.
Uh, Also, I was wondering too, did you have like speaking of like your struggles, didn't you guys have like a sports psychologist too, like on the team as well?
So yeah, I went to a sports psych actually off the team,
Okay.
um, but I went to one just to give it a shot and see if it could help, and I think it did. Basically, my biggest issue with running like shit all year was just that I was in bad shape, and I couldn't catch a break with injuries and stuff. And like I said, the whole stress of things. But I wasn't going into a race. I mean, I was definitely worried and not having fun before races, but I was performing about as well as I could have based off of my fitness. I just
Yeah.
wasn't that fit is really what it came down to. But yeah, having a sports psychologist, it was I think positive. Really what I think sports psychologists are trying to do is, you know, you talk for a while about yourself, kind of like a podcast. And they reaffirm what you say, agree with what you say, give you some challenges, and help you work through some internal things that you may not have even thought were around. And like, I think that I learned in having a psychologist that it's just important to talk to people. you don't want to be quiet about things. So I personally don't see a sports psych anymore, but I learned a lot, and I think that I learned, like I said, the main thing is that it's just important to talk to people about your things that are going on that are bothering you. And if you're not going to talk with people, then get a diary and write stuff. I have a couple friends who write stuff down
Hmm.
in a diary, and that it sounds kind of lame, but like
Call it a
getting
journal.
your thoughts getting your thoughts on paper or getting them out of your head is basically what all psychologists are trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and Joshua both journal. I'd be off.
Yeah,
I've been
I don't
off,
write in a diary. I write in a
but
journal. So let me put that out there right now. Make that clear. Make that clear off the bat.
It did
But
sound weird when I was saying it. I was like, because my friend journals as well too, but calling it a diary does make it sound a bit more sus.
nothing wrong with a diary. Nothing wrong with having a diary though.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But also, I want to also just talk about athlete special too. Kind of just the YouTube channel in general. We wanted to discuss it, and really, let's start off here though, because definitely you're talking about us like seeing what we've done the past year, but there've been a lot of people that have been doing a lot from like the Beer Mile podcast. I just seen that they had like their 1 year anniversary or a new generation. And then Chris with all his podcasts that he has on City Gets Mag and stuff. Like there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff. Like how's it just been for you being someone that's been on YouTube for a minute and seeing everything, seeing the explosion? I think the last time we were on here, we are talking about like, oh, the new era is coming, and like the new era is low key here now, and like
Yeah.
they're still coming in. But how has it just been the past year, seeing all these YouTube channels, podcasts, Instagram pages that have been controlling running media in a way?
Yeah, well, I mean that's been some of the real cool stuff this year. Like those podcasts. I went on the Beer Mile podcast. I've talked with Chris Chavez in the past. I got to meet all the new generation track and field guys in Boulder this summer. I got to meet a lot of people in Boulder, and I helped my girlfriend Allie make a YouTube channel. I helped Ari make a channel, and they both kind of popped off now. And there's just it's really nice to see it. It's nice to see a
Hmm.
lot of people out there, and um, yeah, like I have probably experienced like YouTube burnout and like revitalizing my channel the most of anyone on YouTube in the running space at this point, just because I've been doing it forever. Like people, like just so many people don't know that I was posting consistently for like 3 years, where I was getting like 2,000 views max on videos, where I was just grinding out crap, and
Yeah.
like it only kind of popped off a couple of years ago, and that's what like 90% of my audience is, just from the last 3 years or so, not the first like four before that. So that's just I've been doing it for so long, and like this year I experienced I probably one thing I would have thought that my channel would have grown a little bit more this year. It stagnated quite a bit, and I think it's I think I was less enjoying YouTube less than I had been. I was just in one of those ebbs and flows where it was just a ebb, and I wasn't enjoying it as much. And um, I think that because I just like wasn't racing and running great, it kind of it didn't hurt my channel, but it didn't grow, and my viewership went down a little bit. So it's been cool coming back home because I am just making like my bread and butter
Hmm.
OG athlete special type videos. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing an increase in engagement with my videos. People seem to be enjoying them more again. And it's like, I'm like, I went all the way out west to Boulder for a while in Seattle, and like people seem to just like when I'm sitting at my house at home talking to a camera. Like, what the hell? So it's weird how it works. Like, I've had ideas that work, and I've had ideas that I guess haven't worked as well. And people kind of just, I think they just like to see a guy grinding away and training, and like every time I try to get away from that and do like challenge videos or get a lot more people involved, people seem to not care as much. But I think that they just like the grind of it.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's interesting to hear We were talking about your priorities earlier, but do you feel like your goals for the Athlete Special channel have changed at all?
That's a good question. I think that I lost what my priorities were with the channel when I went out to Boulder, and all of a sudden I was doing like task running shorts and had that business going, but then I couldn't keep doing that when I was with Brooks. So that kind of failed. And then my Brooks storyline is over now, and the channel kind of hasn't grown since Boulder, and I stopped collaborating with people. I stopped going on podcasts. I stopped engaging with my audience, and I'm kind of in this revitalizing period where I'm starting to engage again. I'm starting to just go back to like what my channel truly was at heart, and I'm enjoying it more. So I'm kind of refinding and refocusing my goals and fine tuning them. Like I'm not gonna start another, you know, running shorts business. I know that probably wouldn't work if I'm trying to really focus on running. And really, my goals are just to try to stay consistent with running training, hopefully
Mm.
get some PRs this year, and then go into next year and try to get some more PRs. I'm trying to find a timeline of like how long I want to just like from the gun commit myself to my dad's training. I think it would almost would be better if I like was just like, all right, 2 years of his training for sure, and like go from there. Because then I don't have to like worry too much about like what
Yeah.
I'm. Because I don't really know what I'm doing like after January of this year. I could stay in Seattle. I might not be in Seattle. I don't know. So I'm kind of in that revitalizing period where I'm just figuring things out again. But also I know myself well enough to know like just keep the goals bread and butter. Don't overthink. Don't try to get too big for the running world, and just your best audience is the one that you already have. So I need to start feeding my audience just like what I do best, which is like weird vlogs at my house. So
Yeah, I feel that. Kind of, you're sort of like in a little like a limbo situation. Like, man, what's kind of going on right now? Like Mr. Krabs meme. Like, what's going on? But that's the first thing I get in my mind. I was also thinking too, like the athlete special, the YouTube channel. Like, do you have any like dream things or like bucket list things you want to do like with the channel? Like, I don't know, like maybe like a movie or something, or like something that you would want to like, or like a series of some kind that you would want to do with like the channel. Like, are you even thinking about stuff like that?
yeah, so I want to give a shout out to my friend Johnny Pace, who he helped make that video called The Last Ride. He's helped me make some really good videos in the past, and I've kind of talked with Johnny Pace and my friend Ari Clow, who's now a professional triathlete, about starting like a TV show where we're just
Hmm.
like training in a house in like Boulder, Colorado, or somewhere where Ari and I would live together, and then like Johnny would film us just like doing our training, and like just kind of see what happens with that. I think we'd have to like a lot more logistics go into things like that. You know, it's fun to talk with the boys about just like fun ideas and stuff, but like
Yeah, yeah.
when you start going with it, you guys know like all of a sudden there's a lot of logistics you have to work out, and that that's so it's only an idea right now. So that's one thing, and you know, I enjoy a good story, and I at some point I'd probably like to make some sort of like athlete special movie type thing. Um, but to that point, like right now probably isn't the time for me to do anything like overly creative. I kind of just want to like grind on like the day in day out stuff again for a little bit, and then like hopefully after like a big stint of running again, I can take a step back and then try to do something cool.
Yeah, I feel that. I know it's hard to like find that balance between YouTube and running and trying like new things, because I feel like we deal with that too. Like, what is the running report? Like, what is athlete special? Do I need to be collabing with this person? Do I need to make merch? And it's kind of like you just figure it out as you go, and that's what I'm like hearing from you.
Yeah, totally. Like, you stop thinking about ideas sometimes and stop, uh, yeah, just worrying about the future of what you're gonna do, and start focusing on like, all right, video every 3 days. Just let's go. Just keep going, keep going. That's just when you build, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do again.
I feel that. You just got yeah, sometimes you just gotta jump into the deep end. Even though I can't swim, like sometimes you just gotta jump into the deep end sometimes though. Not
Right. You need
not
to learn how to
literally for me though.
you need to learn how to
Hey bro,
swim though.
you need
Come
to
on,
come
man.
teach me, bro. I need to go to an instructor. I can't have you teach me how to swim, bro. I can't have you teach me how to
Bro,
swim.
I could teach you, bro. Trust.
That
Trust.
sounds frustrating to me, bro.
Don't set
That
our
sounds
people.
frustrating.
Don't set us back, bro. Don't set us back right now.
Okay, bro. Okay, we gonna move on. We gonna close out. We gonna close out after that. We got some closeout questions for you, Spencer. First, I want to start here. We never done this before on the podcast, but we want to do like a track and field word association a little bit. So basically, I'm gonna say an athlete's name and give the first word or phrase that crosses your mind. Understandable?
Yeah, I get it. Okay. You showed me these before. I forgot the name, so hopefully this goes well.
Our first one, sit and kick podcast.
Dave is the better host.
Oh, dang.
Ooh. Shots.
Alio.
Wears the pants. In my
Matthew Centrowitz.
Cole Hawker's son.
Ooh, dang.
Danny Mackey.
Future MMA fighter.
Ooh. Let's go with this one afterwards. Jake Paul.
My hero.
What? Wasn't expecting that.
Yo.
It's a meme mostly.
New generation track and field.
I liked when it was called Ben Crawford more.
Hey, I got one for you. Nick Simmons.
Really want to collaborate with him.
Cole Hawker.
Best hair in the game.
I don't know about this one. Sha'Carri Richardson.
Shouldn't have been banned.
I agree. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Old news.
R.I.P.
The guy that was wearing the shirt too. Flow track.
Dead.
Dang.
R.I.P. to them too.
I don't know what you be saying to that. Oh, let's go over to the next one. Good job. Thank you, Spencer. First time. Move on to the next one, bro. Like, Aaron want to ask this question. Can we expect any athlete special merch soon? I know we were just talking about not thinking about any creative stuff, but any athlete special merch that you thinking about, you want to drop soon?
Any more sweaters?
So I'm probably.
Hats?
My dad wants to help me make some merch stuff. Nothing if I do, because right now I don't sell anything. But I'd say in the next 2 months we'll try to set up just some sort of Shopify thing and get basic stuff going again. All the basic stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I don't got anything else. Aaron, you got something?
No, we covered a lot. So appreciate you coming on. I mean, happy to see your growth, see you're back with your family. And yeah, we're just excited for the channel, the direction of the channel. I feel like your last 3 videos were super fire.
Thank you. I as always, guys, I really love going on this podcast. You guys are like real friends at this point. We actually have to hang out forever in California together at this point. So
When you were last out here, I think for one of the Sunset Tour races, like you're all like, oh, like where should I run in the OC or anything? Like I was gonna hit you, but that was like right after I got my appendix taken out. So
Shoot.
I couldn't move, or I was in pain. So I was like, oh, I can't really do nothing until 2 weeks or something like that. But no, yeah, we gotta do something. Actually, I got one more question just because I'm just interested in this. Have you been watching anything like on Netflix or Hulu or something? Do you have anything to recommend to the people?
I want to start watching Squid Game. It's some Japanese show. I
Everybody's
haven't
talking
started
about
watching
that.
yet. I kind of casually watched Ted Lasso with my family at home. Um, a little embarrassed to say this one because I don't consider myself an anime guy, but I did just watch Attack on Titan, which is an anime show.
Fire.
I finished season 1 and
Season
know
one
what?
is crazy.
Call me a nerd, whatever. I don't care. I watched Attack on Titan, and you know what? I also watched Demon Slayer, which is another fire anime.
Fire.
So
This man's a
you know what?
weave.
You can, yeah. I never did that stuff before this year, but a couple of my friends suggested it, and it's kind of fire. And I would never dub it in English. You got to watch it in the true language.
Yes, it's way better. It's way better. I
Hey, I
agree.
think this is gonna be the true change in your running, bro.
Dude, I feel the energy. Yeah, I feel the energy.
You see what Isaiah Jewett was able to do, bro? Just wait. You just need a little bit. You just need a little bit, and the power of anime God. It what's the thing? Powerful. You seen that, Aaron?
I don't think I have, but I had actually one more question though. I had one more question.
All right, hit me.
Who should we have on the next podcast? We haven't been. We,
Oh
we didn't
yeah,
even ask that last time. But do you have any
that's
suggestions on?
crazy.
We've had so many guests at this point, but any suggestions you got for us?
I'm trying to think of someone in the running world that's doing something right now. Maybe. Have you guys ever not had a runner on here? Maybe try to get a triathlete on here. Maybe we'll get Lionel Sanders. Do you know who
Lionel
that is?
Sanders. I don't, but I'll research. We don't. We've only had runners. We've had people from like
Go-
casual to
Get
pros, but
get Corey Belmore on here.
the beer mile 3:30 something 1500 runner.
Yeah, yeah. I've met him. He's a really
What?
nice guy. So I'd like to know what he's up to.
Yeah, that dude is a beast.
You ran what, Aaron?
I think in the beer mile he's
He ran
ran
like
like
420 in the beer
yeah,
mile.
but he's like a 3:37 guy in the
He's good at, yeah,
15.
yeah.
Dang, how do you run 420 in the beer mile?
It's
I don't know.
crazy, bro. I think he ran like a 4:13 like and then it's just like the beer time added basically. So he was running
Yeah.
a 4:13 while drinking beer. It's crazy.
That's a flex, bro. That's a flex. But we're low key just talking for these last 5 minutes. So in the podcast here, bro. Thanks for everybody listening this far, bro. Thank you again, Spencer, for joining us, man. Really do appreciate it. Good luck on all your future endeavors. Aaron, you got anything else before we get out of here?
Just as always, man, if you listen this far into the podcast, you truly are a day one homie. And just thank you all for rating, giving us the 5 stars, and yeah, just giving us that feedback. It truly is appreciated. So thank you all. We'll see y'all next time on Two Black Tuesday.
Thanks again, Spencer, bro.
Thanks, guys.
All right. That was like a perfect hour too.